I mean, a lot of the qualifiers I've run in the past wouldn't have any prize, obviously, so it's just a little added extra. And the reason that it's really nice to have the $50 prize pool is actually because this is an OSC event. By having a $50 prize pool, it means we can give out OSC points, and we can offer bounties and so on for all of the for all of the players, and we can just basically offer all of the OSC benefits. So it allows more players to sign up and all the rest as well. To the bottom right hand side, our blue Protoss player, it is going to be from Splice. Give it up if you're cheering on Stats. He's going to be going up against the red Protoss player to the bottom left hand side of the map. It is going to be Classic. Game 1 of this best of 3. And we'll be looking to see which of these two players will take the early lead in the series. Classic and Stats have both played in some WardiTV weeklies as of late, actually. I think we're likely to probably invite... I can't remember who. Let me check, actually. I have to check who's placed highly where, but I think there's a good chance that one of them will get invited anyways. Yeah, Stats made it to the round of 4 of one of these events, so I think it's very likely that Stats would probably get invited anyways. It depends. I mean, it depends on how many invites we have to give away, but Stats is likely to get an invite. Classic has played in the events, but he hasn't really done very well. Sadly to say, he's not really made it very far at all. So let's see. Let's see what's going to happen as we set this up, and I'll just see what's happening. Is Classic bottom left, Stats bottom right, and here on Newkirk Precinct we do just see the double gate opener from both of these players, which is to be expected in the PvP matchup. Getting into the double gateways allows you to go into double Stalker or so early, or double Adept is also a possibility. We actually see one of each build orders so far. And the Mothership Core already on the way up from Classic as he spends a little bit less gas, yada yada. Okay, so I mean pretty much standard stuff so far. I mean these two different openings can lead into different things, but we have to kind of wait to see what exactly it's going to be. The Stalkers will give you a good amount of kind of sturdy map control, whereas the Adepts will give you map control in the sense that you've got to keep on dodging those Stalkers, but they're more likely to jump into the main base and get a bit of damage done here. We'll see Stalkers as a follow-up anyway from Classic. We'll see what Stats follow-up is going to be. I mean, he might look to just go straight towards the Nexus. There'll be 2 more Stalkers for now. We'll see where he goes from this as well. Are we going to see who's lagging out? Uh-oh. There's a lot of lag. This time my ping is actually kind of okay, so don't think it's me. My ping is not being the best today. But yeah. Alright, so we're going to see a couple of Stalkers from Stats continue to move back because these Debs are Classic. They didn't start diving in towards the main base. A couple more Stalkers just going to pop out right now. Overcharge will probably be used on the right side to get rid of the Adepts. Push them back a little bit more easily. These Adepts are in trouble because they're either going to be over here or they're going to shade over there. I mean, either way they're going to get taken down by these Stalkers. They're going to try and make it towards a couple more probes. And actually he's going to pick up 3 probe kills. No, he doesn't get the third one. He manages to jump back into the simulator just in time. So just managing to get back in there. As the Twilight Council coming down from Stats now in the main. And the natural expansion is coming on up as well. It's about halfway done here already. So Stats with the natural expansion just over halfway done. And we do see that robot facility halfway done at home from Classic. So 2 different tech choices from the players as they expand. Obviously, overall, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, Classic loses 2 Adepts, so he's down a couple of Stalkers essentially, but he's killed a couple of probes. And I mean, from Stats to go into the Twilight is maybe a little bit more common sense because he can go into Blink and use it a bit more easily with his extra Stalkers he's got. Whereas Classic, I guess, may look towards just getting the robot up and being very safe. So he's also, because he went for those Adepts early, he hasn't got like a sentry out or so. So kind of getting an Immortal quickly will definitely help him. Now he's going to get some sentries. Yeah, I mean, there's just different ways to go and just different build orders here as we enter the mid-game of this PvP, I guess. I mean, it's kind of a weird one nowadays. What is the mid-game? You know, generally the mid-game took a while to get to. Nowadays you can bypass the early game very quickly with most build orders. And I'd say this is kind of heading towards mid-game PvP now as the first important upgrades kind of kick in on 2 bases. And both players start to get their second tech structures up as well. We're kind of past the early game shenanigans. I guess PvP is one of the matchups you can still see a lot of early game sort of stuff. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm just talking, I mean, it all depends on what your definition of early and mid game is, and it doesn't really matter too much at all. But do you think it's an interesting concept for sort of setting up goals and targets? if you're trying to learn to play. Anyways, just seeing this hallucinate Phoenix moving in towards the main, having a little bit of a scat around. We'll see the warp, well, not the warp piston, but we'll see the rubber facility up and coming around this direction. Did you see the Twilight as well? Yes, he did. So stats with some good information here. Classic has not scoured since the tech has gone up for stats, so Classic doesn't know just yet what is going on, but with the warp prism moving across the map, we're starting to get a bit of an idea as to what Classic wants to do, maybe. He's actually got a sentry in this as well. If he hits a force field on this ramp, it could be a little bit scary, but that said, there is a mothership core to try and buy time, and Blink isn't that far away from stats, so you could blink up past the force field. So I actually don't think this is going to be too big of a deal. It's not going to be like a force field on a on a PvZ or something where all of a sudden the game just ends. Well, it used to until Ravagers got introduced as a unit. So it's interesting. He's going to come in. I mean, there's 4 Stalkers in position, and Blink is ready, by the way, as well. So that's going to be a pretty big deal. Immediately just going to blink backwards here. Probably bring the Mothership Core in to defend. He actually overcharges the Natural and brings the Stalkers into the main base, which is nice because he can blink forwards and try and pick up the Warpism kill. And by blinking forwards there, he gets the Immortal, but he won't be able to pick up the Sentry and the Stalker. Really cute little move by Stats. I enjoyed that. That was good. So you're going to be seeing this next gateway just added on here on the Natural expansion. And the Immortal just sat at the front, just up this ramp right now. And look at this, though, from Classic. A Dark Shrine hidden to the top side of the map. We saw this probe earlier, and now we're seeing what it's designed for. Just going to be looking to sneak some Dark Templar into the game. And how prepared would Stats be for Dark Templar? Well, he has one Observer overhead right now. So he has an Observer ready to go. He has a, he just has one Observer ready to go. A couple of Observers for Classic back at home. That's obviously not going to matter because there's no DTs coming up from Stats. His next tech tree, next stage of the tech tree has been the Robo Bay and the Forge as well, a little bit earlier than his opponent. So both players going to +1, but Disruptor's on the way out from Stats. So that's the difference right now. He invests into Disruptor playstyle, where his opponent will invest into getting damage done with the Dark Shrine. And it's going down to the south, and Stats just looking to see where he can go. Another pylon coming up to the right-hand side, and you still do see Stalkers, Immortals, Sentries moving through the center of the map. So they're going to move through the center here. Classic going to look to see what's up, what's going on. A few more DTs about to finish up for Classic, and actually they're going to be the first DTs of the game. Let's see what's going to happen here. As you see the Guardian Shield popping already, and it's interesting because, I mean, Stats is looking to have to defend right now. Classic looking to be very aggressive. But Stats does have a Disruptor. The Classic will have Archons available very soon as well from the DTs if he wants them. Disruptor shot forwards doesn't really hit on much. Feels though Classic was kind of, Stats was kind of okay in that fight. But here the DTs and 6-7 workers going down already. Now he has to start sending Observers back to his bases. Now he has to start sending units all over the place to really deal with this. He's going to see a big blink forwards though, and he's going to try and take a fight once again. He's got a lot more Stalkers than his opponent here, and that's definitely starting to show as he blinks forwards very aggressively. He starts to do quite a lot. However, DTs are still doing so much back at home. Where's the Observer? Well, the new Observer isn't coming out because it's been the Robo has been unpowered. Only one Observer in the game, and Stats now sending that back home. Is that the right decision? Because now DTs can warp in over here aggressively. I mean, Stats, by the time the Observer gets home, he's already lost the Natural expansion. He's lost 30 workers as well. And Classic is looking really, really solid right now. As we're going to see, well, an overcharge coming down here. Stalkers will continue to fight the Immortals, trying to push up this ramp as well. 43 workers now dead as there's just DTs all over the place. DT's doing so much right now. I mean, finally the Observer back at home helping out. Classic needs to just defend this right here, and I mean, honestly, why wouldn't he? You know, it's very difficult, I think, for him to mess this up, honestly. But that said, Immortals are doing a good job. The Disruptor's helping out. Probes will pull in. I mean, it just takes another DT, though, right? There's no Observer in this army, so Dark Templar is a guaranteed cleanup, and Stats knows it. The Dark Templar player out of class